Like, but Joe sent me this earlier today, or yesterday, technically. I had heard of this concept. I'll say that I'd heard of this concept. I knew, because sometimes I like looking up movies that have been in like development hell for a while and stuff. So I remember reading about this movie. Not knowing anything about it. Didn't even know it was actually coming out, to be completely honest with you. Didn't know it was coming out. I'll let Joe take the reins on explaining what's going on with a new lawsuit that has Sesame Street attached to a movie that has the word murders in the title.
Yeah. So this movie called Happytime Murders, directed by Jim Henson's son, Brian Henson. And the film has a poster that says, no Sesame, all street. And because, it has Sesame Street on that poster, it deals with puppets. It has, son's name again, the director, Brian Henson. Henson, and attached to Jim Henson, with puppets and everything.
This is an R-rated,
and it's an R-rated comedy. I mean, if you watch the trailer, the first trailer that was dropped was
Red
a Red
Band trailer.
Yeah. I mean, it's got, just swear words, sex jokes all over the place. So Sesame Street did not like the fact that it had all street, no sesame on their poster.
All
and so
Sesame, no street.
Yeah, they filed a lawsuit against STX Entertainment Media.
Yes. So now, the noteworthy thing about this is the way that Happytime Murders, STX Entertainment responded to this. This is their statement. I'll read it verbatim. I think
with a photo of a puppet lawyer.
They attached a photo of a puppet in a tuxedo, Fred Esquire, like Roman J. Israel Esquire, and it says, STX love the idea of working closely with Brian Henson and the Jim Henson Company to tell the untold story of the active lives of Henson puppets when they're not performing in front of children. Happytime Murders is the happy result of that collaboration, and we're incredibly pleased with the early reaction to the film and how well the trailer has been received by its intended audience. While we're disappointed that Sesame Street does not share in the fun, we are confident in our legal position. We look forward to introducing adult moviegoers to our adorably unapologetic characters this summer. From Fred Esquire, the puppet lawyer. I got a real question. I don't know law. Full disclosure, I don't know law really well, but I don't know if they have much of a leg to stand on with this. I really don't. I don't know Sesame Street. I don't know if they do or not. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. All right, because I'm taking media law right now.
Yeah.
So this.
What do you think from your?
He's an expert.
He's an expert over here.
Media law.
Any lawyers that are listening could call in and give us the rundown.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer. But for
not a sponsor.
It does have a tie to where. So this is the thing. The way that they can lose this lawsuit, STX Studio, is that if any general audience member could look at that poster and actually assume it's tied to Sesame Street. I was just going to ask that. Because it has the word Sesame Street on the poster. Not like next to each other, but it's on there, and it has a puppet. So the whole rule is that if they really think that a general audience could look at this poster and think this actually deals with Sesame Street, they can actually lose this. And that's like the biggest thing right there, is that it all lies within a court and a jury thinking, yeah, audiences will think that this is tied to Sesame Street because it deals with puppets
and they could
and
lose
the logos
on
there.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. The poster the main poster that they've just released, the teaser poster at least. It's got Melissa McCarthy and the other puppet, the Philip puppet or whatever his name is too. Phil,
her partner.
Yeah, her partner on it too. You could make the argument too that puppet looks like Bert from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
He does kind of look like Bert.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean, with the hairstyle and the glasses and stuff. So yeah, I know what you're saying about that. Could they look at that and link Sesame Street together? And they maybe could, but it's also a matter of whether or not Sesame Street is going to try to follow suit with this legal matter.
It depends on the age of the witnesses they bring forward for sample testing. If it's like I don't know, a baby boomer, they might lose this one because it's like they might get confused. It depends. It really does. I can actually see if the scenario described is what they're going to actually do.
That's the one way I can see.
Sure. Then yeah.
I'm sure there's other ways, but that's one way I know.
I don't know, man. I don't trust people that much. I don't trust the general movie-going audience. Maybe.
Yeah, you know what this
same audience that gives those like Asylum knockoff films at Redbox.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, Transmorphers. My son loves Transformers.
No, I got a very obscure reference. Did you two gentlemen see Super Size Me? The documentary
Yeah.
of Morgan Spurlock.
Oh, I think so.
You know
A long
what this
time ago.
reminds me of? You probably, I don't know if I doubt you'll remember the scene, but it reminds me of the scene when Morgan Spurlock's working with these young like kindergarten children, and he's showing them.
Oh my God, I know what
pictures.
you're- I know what
He's
you're
showing
talking about.
them pictures of like popular brand mascots, like Ronald McDonald. I think
Burger
the King
King.
from Burger King, Wendy from Wendy's, and then they're showing them pictures, and these kids are getting it right off the bat.
Yeah.
But then they're showing them other pictures of like.
George Washington.
Bush, George Washington, George Bush, George
The
W.
last
Bush,
photo, though.
Jesus, and they don't know who they are. The one girl, I always remember the girl thought that said George W. Bush with Jesus. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know to this point though, a Dom though is like. Never underestimate the stupidity of the common person. Too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean in that regard of like not being able to link the two. You know. So there's always that. There's always absolutely that concern. But I think, I'll tell you now, in a quality sense of this movie, Dom brought it up too. Dom's like, this could be really a case of what I think is still referred to as trailer fail, is when all comedy, all of its funniest jokes are right there present in the trailer.
Yeah.
This could really be a case of that too. It depends on how much wit they bring to it, how much substance they bring to the script. And given that this is a buddy cop kind of premise, like how much stock do you put in that? How much stock do you put in like the buddy cop premise, which has failed in a lot of ways in the last several years?
Well, I mean, they succeeded with Melissa McCarthy and Heat.
Yeah, it did, yes.
The Heat.
Yeah, the
whatever it's
Heat.
called.
Yeah, it did in a way.
In the Heat.
Not the Robert De Niro, Al Pacino bank robbery movie.
Yeah, it did succeed in a way. Like it really did. I mean, this thing is really a little bit riskier. I just in terms of like the humor, because it's like, are you just gonna laugh at the fact that they're puppets, or are you gonna have the puppets
Yeah,
doing? What do you
it's the
think?
same thing with,
I
like-
compare it to Ted.
I was about to say Ted,
Ted.
where it's a teddy bear just saying the F word.
And Ted,
saying
but I mean,
sex
Ted, the
jokes.
first Ted was pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I also think Seth MacFarlane doesn't get enough credit for his work, but I think that it was a really funny, amusing
Or
movie.
Sausage Party.
Sausage
a bunch
Party
of
was another
food
one.
saying the same exact stuff.
You know, so yeah, there's the trailer really doesn't say a whole lot though. It doesn't say a whole lot. It shows kind of the raunchier, bawdier side of this premise too. I mean, and the cast too. I'm surprised how thin the cast is of this, because you got Melissa McCarthy, you got Maya Rudolph, and you got Joel McHale, and you got
Elizabeth
Elizabeth Banks,
Yeah.
and that's about it for like notable names. And the puppeteers, like I said, obviously the puppeteers don't have very noteworthy names and such though. But we'll have to see. I like to keep tabs on this lawsuit though. I'd like to keep tabs on this thing. And I'm telling you,
If we're getting our Dan Schneider, we're gonna get our lawsuit at Sesame Street.
this just spells disaster in a way too, because it's like, of course, this thing has been in production since 2008, and then of course, then
Oh,
it
yeah.
comes out, and then they use this tagline, and then they get themselves in hot water.
Watch
mean-
this be the death of it.
I don't know. It could go either way. Either this is, free publicity, or maybe the death of it. I don't know.
I take it as free publicity.
Yeah,
I really
really.
would. Yeah, I would hope that's
mean,
what it is.
if your trailer at the end of the trailer involves puppets going at it with each other, like you're
And
unabashed,
silly string going
like,
everywhere.
Exactly, you don't care at that point. You really don't. So you're gonna
Look at the response they gave with the puppet lawyer.
you're gonna take this lawsuit and take it as a win, like no matter what.
Yeah.
So
And
whatever.
the Henson Company, I think, will survive. I
Yeah.
mean, I think they'll survive. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say. And I guess you could even make the argument too that this has the added benefit of coming out after two pretty good Muppets movies as well. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
not like puppets have been
It
so far
does-
removed from the theaters.
It does. It's funny because this is not. Of course, it's not associated because they're getting sued over it. But this movie isn't associated with Sesame Street. But it's because it's his style of puppets and specific style of puppet, where it's
interacting with humans.
interacting with
Sure.
humans. It just kind of puts a sour taste in the Sesame Street kind of franchise and universe. And maybe that's just me caring too much about it. Like, it's, whatever, just ignore it.
Sesame Street's kind of like pretty infallible in this sense.
Yeah,
too,
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, just ignore it, put it to the side, whatever. And yeah,
I
I'm sure-
highly doubt kids will find this. I
Yeah.
think if they're concerned in any moral sense, they're worried that kids are going to find this trailer, and I don't think they will.